This is Scott Becker with the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. Today's discussion is golf and return on investment. So here's the issue. I finally sort of went to go see this prodigal golf pro that one of my friends uses who is having tremendous results with. He is doing so well with this golf pro that I'm so annoyed. I can't even tell you because I'm not even playing close to him right now. It's really driving me crazy. So I finally go to this golf pro. He asks me, what's going wrong? What are you doing wrong? What are your misses? What's going wrong? And I tell him all the things I think you do wrong. And he says to me, and he's a famous golf coach. And he says to me, after a couple minutes of listening to me, in my 40 years of teaching golf, I've never heard anybody explain the problems in their game so poorly. That was the start of it. Then we get going on the swing monitor. All these pros have these great swing monitors, and he looks at my swing, and he says, you're hitting this fade slice. People might want to call it a power fade, a fade, whatever they want to call it. But the reality is just a slice dressed up in a different terminology. So don't call yourself a power fader. Call yourself a bad slicer. And I'm like, well, thank you very, very much. Then, of course, he says to me, you got to get the swing path fixed, and you can't do anything with the grip that you have, the club path that you have. And there's a moral to the story coming up. So at the end of the day, I listen to him. I work at it. He gives me some gadget. I try that. And lo and behold, I spent more money in this lesson than any lesson I think I've ever spent in my life, like just a crazy amount, but it was worth it. And this is the beauty of great coaching. It can be worth it. I spent so much money in this lesson, and I won't even say it out loud on the podcast how much I spent because I don't want Wiz or anybody else to hear it and think I should be spending money on other priorities because I shouldn't or I should. I don't know, but I don't want the judgment on it. But the fact is, I spent that much money, and I won $10 today on the golf course playing 9 holes early this morning to a guy that I don't often, I haven't beat in a little bit. So it was very gratifying, very gratifying. The last couple of times I collapsed. Today I won $10 from him. I actually didn't even know his middle name, but I was so thrilled today to see the Zell come across and see that his middle name, and so now I know his middle name because it's been a while since I've gotten a Zell from him. He joked that Zell almost texted him to say, is this person still a contact of yours, which has been so long since you sent him money? The point is, I might have spent whatever amount of money I spent in that lesson, but that $10 winnings was very gratifying. The other point of the lesson, and I think this is maybe a bigger point, what this pro said is, you've been compensating in so many different ways for your club face being messed up. And I would say, I drink too much caffeine. I move my hands around. He would say, I can assure you one thing. The golf ball does not care how much caffeine you are drinking. It does not care. All it cares about, are you hitting the golf ball square or not? And so he worked a lot with me on my grip and how I position, how I finish a swing, stuff like that. Lo and behold, I had a wonderful 9-hole round today. Not great, but I hit the ball fantastic and beat my friend out of $10. But I think it's a real tribute to teaching. You have so many pros that work on the symptoms. He's like, we can do all we want to adjust your take back, your this, your that. But if you don't get this club face right and your grip right, the fact that you're playing as well as you are with the horrible grip that you have, is a real testament. It's like saying to someone who's as short as I am, the fact that you play as good a basketball as you do at your height is really something to be proud of. But that's about the backhand again what I got. But it was helpful. And the return on investment, I think I'm down still. If I won $10 today, I might still be down $490. Might give you some hint for those that are math wizards out there how much it cost. But I think it was all worth it. I won't do it all the time. But I do think it was all worth it when you have a great coach, a great teacher, and you could take $10 from one of your buddies. It makes the day a great day. Thank you for listening to this podcast today on golf and return on investment. Thank you very, very much.